sees you everywhere you look. When you're lost out there and you're all alone, life is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look.
Hi! I'm Josh Elliott.
I'm Molly Irwin.
I am Bret Williams.
I'm Cooper Frank.
And I'm Abby Elliott. Molly, scoot over.
So
I
what's
act
this
like
league?
I'm happy on the internet.
And no one told you life was gonna be this way.
So today we are going to be reviewing the
Justice League.
Yeah.
It's a DC movie where superheroes come together to stop a villain. Did it suck?
No.
Questionable.
Purely okay. It's a
mediocre.
fun superhero action movie.
It could have been much worse, but it could have been much better.
Let's talk about our problems with it. The CGI, the mustache, was just not ideal.
CGI was iffy.
The opening scene was like a phone recording of Superman. It didn't look like Henry Cavill, and I was like, that's so weird. He was working on another movie and they had to do reshoots and he still had the mustache and he couldn't shave it off. So they CGI'd it over.
I know about hair problems.
If you want to know what that inside reference is, go to my own channel, Josh Elliott, and watch the movie Horror Movie 2.
The pacing was very different. There were a lot of scenes that were slow and then some that were like really fast. WB was very strict about this and they wanted it literally to be under 2 hours and it's an hour and 59 minutes long.
I disagree completely. I think the pacing was one of the best aspects of the movie. DC movies are known for being overly long. Cooper, shut the up. The fact that this one was under 2 hours, it just made it easier to watch, I thought.
I felt like the introductions of the characters just went by like really, really quick. Especially Cyborg. I felt like his character was probably the most underused.
If you're going into this movie, then you have to have some context and like you have to be a fan in some way.
This movie's so boring,
That's-
except for like certain spikes where it's just like, oh, that's kind of cool. The Batman's fighting the criminal on top of the building, and I was like, this is really boring. I didn't really like get interested again until the Flash came around, and I was like, oh, cool, the Flash. Then the Flash became really annoying really quick.
Although I like
Yeah.
Ezra Miller.
I agree with what Bret said to where I wish they would have had it longer. I know some people would be like, ugh, 3 hours long. I don't want to see it,
honestly
which is
would've
Josh.
preferred-
The main parts of the movie that annoyed me would have been fixed with making the movie a lot longer. How scenes were cut and how other scenes started. It just felt really sloppy. I think that having it be 3 hours, even though that would have pushed away some people, I think it would have made the movie much better.
Has there been a Marvel movie that's 3 hours
No.
long though?
Avengers was like 2.5.
We should definitely compare the two because one's definitely better than the others.
I think the best part of this movie
Was
is
Aquaman because he was so badass.
Jason
I
Momoa
think the best
killed
part
it.
of this movie is the team itself. I really felt like the characters got along well. So,
It
yeah.
felt like a team.
I think Wonder Woman killed it too.
Oh,
Alright,
it is
so
amazing.
now we can go to spoilers.
There
My
are a
favorite
couple
part,
ones that are.
without a doubt, is
Like Aquaman.
definitely Superman.
Aquaman.
The one part that I was like, I don't like that, was when he came back evil and they fought him. I didn't really get why he was like that, and then all of a sudden he like changed back to
Something
good
that I
again.
would have liked to see with that scene was that he wasn't evil. They were saying he's confused, he doesn't know who he is.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see more confusion.
He really seems like he's just bad.
evil.
The way he was talking, he had
He
like
was
an
just pissed
evil
off.
British accent.
If you just came back to life, you don't know who you are, you don't know where you are, you don't know
Yeah.
what's going on.
I honestly really loved that conflict, but it only lasted like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Even if it is drawn out more in the extended cut, it still has no huge impact on the plot itself.
The reason why I never really liked Superman until now is because in the past movies, Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, Superman is like this really dark character. That's not Superman to me. There was a huge change in character. I really feel like Henry Cavill finally figured out the role.
Henry Cavill's a perfect Superman.
One
that's why people
scene
love Superman.
that I loved was Superman. They were all fighting Superman, and Superman had literally everyone except for the Flash, and the Flash ran around him to try and like stop him, and
That
Superman
was sick.
moved with him.
That was
Yeah.
tight.
And then got into a fight with him in
Oh,
like when they were
so
going
cool.
fast, and I was like, that was a nice scene. It had nice CGI, and I really, really liked
His
it.
oh shit face when he was looking at him was perfect.
Flash, if you have watched the TV show or if you've read up anything about the Flash, he is incredibly smart, but they don't
Don't
play
really get
into
much of
any
it.
of that. Also, I felt he had no arc.
I did kind of like the awkward teenage character that he kind of had. I felt like I could relate to that pretty well.
Which is why they
And
chose Ezra Miller.
They definitely like took that from like Spider-Man.
I can think of one thing the Flash did that no one else could have really done, and that was bring Superman back to life. But other than that, What did
had,
the Flash
like-
do?
At their first fight as Justice League, Barry was like, this isn't me. I know you guys are all like, let's fight, I'm ready,
Yeah.
but I'm not. And so I wish they would have like come full circle with that at the last fight, where Batman or someone was like, are you ready? He was like, yes, or like he had something like that where they played with that.
I get that.
I just wish that would have been like one of those moments where it was like, yes! One
Yeah.
scene that I absolutely loved that I didn't think I would was the scene between Vincent and Barry where they were digging Superman's grave, because you actually saw character
Oh, yeah.
in them. Victor, not Vincent. What am I saying?
That was one of the
Yeah.
few scenes where the
That was-
characters actually talked like humans. Most of the other scenes,
Like, is
there's
it
like
weird
some
that
sort of philosophical aspect to their speech.
I felt like Cyborg, a lot of people thought he was like a boring character, like his
Yeah, he's a boring character.
Yeah.
He was.
But I did kind of like his monotone like acting. I think it fit the character. My biggest problem with this movie is definitely the villain Steppenwolf. Like this has to be the most
Okay.
underwhelming, unthreatening villain I've
I don't know about
No,
unthreatening.
but here's the thing.
Steppenwolf's pretty fucking intimidating.
They had his like scene where he was killing all the women and stuff,
The Amazon-
but I can't even remember how they killed him.
Is it weird that the fight sequences get less interesting the
As-
more the movie goes along?
I felt that way.
I didn't have a problem with Steppenwolf. I thought he was intimidating. I thought he was everything that they needed him to be. I don't think they really needed to have so much of an interesting villain. It's not about the hero-villain dynamic like you see in
Yeah.
Batman. It's not about making the villain interesting. It's about having something intimidating for our heroes to fight against.
Can
All
I
verdicts.
talk about the post-credit scenes? Deathstroke looks so freaking good.
Deathstroke looks so
I
cool.
literally like had a nerdgasm in the theater and I saw
was like,
And final verdict!
all right, yeah.
Unlike all of these other people, I think the pacing was really good. I thought the dialogue was bad. I thought half the characters were good, half of them weren't. Basically, every good decision that this movie made was counteracted by a bad decision, so I'll give it a 5.
Ditto. 5.
I did have a good time watching this movie. I had fun. I really enjoyed the hero dynamics. I'm really glad that this movie made me like appreciate the character of Superman because I didn't before. I loved the team dynamic and everything. The pacing was off, like I said. The villain was not intimidating to me, but like you said, it isn't really the biggest part of the movie. It should be a focus. Other than that, I think it was a pretty okay movie. I'd give it a 6.
I was informed to go before Cooper. I enjoyed most of the characters, and I felt as though when I see the extended cut, I'll like the movie a lot more. In all, I give it a 5 out of 10.
I compare this movie to Avengers. That's a good thing to do because I think they're supposed to be compared, even though this came out 6 years later. That means it should be a lot better because of everything that Marvel has done already, and somehow they totally f***ed it up. The first half of the movie is probably the most boring superhero movie I've ever seen. It's just so uninteresting to look at. Characters are so uninteresting. The purpose of Steppenwolf is never like really fully explained. But I did have fun with it, I guess, because I was like, oh shit, that's the Flash. Oh shit, that's Aquaman.
Yeah.
I think
Cool.
Cooper has a big old man crush on him.
Oh, hell yeah. So, I mean, like, I had fun, but I don't know what DC's trying to do with the movie. Are they trying to make fun movies or movies, like, cinematic experiences? Because
Yeah.
I think they need to find out what they want and then make that movie instead of trying to experiment with both. I have 2 ratings for this movie. I give it, like, a 4 out of 10. But on the level of, like, would I see this again because I like superheroes? Yeah. So I give that, like, 9 dead purple alien Green Lanterns out of 10.
Our final verdict is a 5.
What did you think of Justice League? If you've seen it, comment and let us know. And don't forget to subscribe to High School Film Nerds.
If you comment on this video, I will send you a link to a video of me doing something.
Let's say peace out at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Wait, on 3 or after 3?
After 3.
1, 2, 3!
Peace out!
Peace out!
1, 2, 3!
Peace out!
Peace out!